Okay, are we starting?
All right. We are starting?
Is it recording? I don't see a light.
Little light's not twinkling, Clark.
No, it's recording on OBS. Will you just let me do my job?
No. Well, look, now we can finally see ourselves after how many weeks?
Ooh. Why do we look like the Brady Bunch? We got like 9 screens. 9 screens.
I like your counting there.
All right. 6, 4, 3, 9 screens. All right. Ready? And go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Rose. This is our 5th episode?
I don't know.
6th?
I just stopped
Fifth?
counting.
We're going to call it 5 just for the sake of calling it 6. Okay? It's definitely 6. All right?
Can you make up a
I'm Anthony, and
I'm
that's
Courtney.
Courtney. And it's being produced by Courtney's lovely husband, AJ Gumboa. Thank you, AJ. Crowd goes wild. Okay. All right. So we had a lot of things happen this week, and none of them happened the way you wanted them to. So, any thoughts?
Not necessarily the way I wanted to. Okay, the only thing that didn't go the way I wanted it to was Andrew, but everything else was good. Because I really did want Michael to stay,
Right.
but I liked Andrew better.
Yeah.
But
Andrew's
Brandon
grown on me.
left, which I knew he would, and Mike the Virgin left, which
All
I
right.
knew he would.
So we have Brandon Leaf. He was, the first one to leave, right?
Like the first out of everybody, yes.
So the way the whole episode kind of started was all the guys sitting there talking, and it kind of shifted perspectives because all the episodes were about what Katie wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And this episode was the guys really dissecting, going, okay, do I want Katie? You know, how far along am I? Do I see this thing going? And
Right.
And I think during that conversation, Brandon realized that probably wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, he knew that because he hadn't had a one-on-one yet. The same with Mike. He never had a one-on-one yet. And all the other guys that were sitting there have already had a one-on-one.
Right.
So
And then nobody knew who Brandon was. I mean, although he did get 5 minutes in this episode.
He did, yeah.
And that was like the longest time that he's had for the whole season.
I know, it was weird for me, and I'm not even Katie. I was like, this is, I feel awkward.
Right? I mean, he walked in there and he was like, hey, how you doing?
With a big old cheesy smile. I
Right.
was like, oh gosh, this is so cringy.
Yeah, I knew he was going home. So,
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, I wonder why he lasted that long. Is he just kind of the best of the rest?
I have no idea.
So, anyways, it was interesting. I think it was
I
the
mean,
right move.
Well, he even asked Katie, like, why am I still here?
Yeah, because he knew. He was like, there's a lot of great dudes that left.
Yep.
And here I am, and I've never even talked to you.
Yep.
Like, I don't know who you are. Let's see here. Then we had, so we had 2 one-on-ones and then 1 group date, right?
Yep.
Which is, I guess, the normal,
Yes.
which we discussed last week. And apparently I just didn't catch the pattern. But the first one-on-one was Greg. What did you think about that?
Well, you already know my opinion on Greg.
Yeah, Greg's an actor. Greg's this. So I did a little research on Greg. And what I found out was this. It's not so much that he's an actor or not an actor, okay? The problem that I think that I have with Greg after, reading about him is he had a girlfriend of a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very controlling and abusive.
Oh.
Well, the abusive part is allegations. People have seen the changes in her personality. She was very outgoing and bubbly, and then all of a sudden, throughout the year and a half, just became very closed in. And I guess one person witnessed him snapping at her for wearing a dress that was too short, and then made the allegation that if this is what's happening in public, I can't imagine what happens behind closed doors.
Right.
And so apparently he's not the shy, nice guy that, he's coming across as.
So he's an actor.
Well,
Okay, so my thing about this one-on-one that I've noticed, it's kind of been a pattern, is he just always has a straight face. And he's like, he'll smile here and there, but it's like he's miserable.
yeah, he's got resting sad face.
Yeah.
And I think so. This is what I decided to do. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take Greg at face value because I think I owe that to him. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people say a lot of things and it's ridiculous. And so how do we filter through the noise? Well, we take the person at face value, and I think that's what Katie's doing too. And then looking at him, some questions came like, is this personality dynamic enough to match hers? Or do opposites attract?
I like to think that AJ and I are very opposite. So I would have to say yes, opposites attract, because obviously we're married now. But I feel like people are more drawn to somebody. I mean, like Katie has said before, she's more drawn to Blake. And that's because they're so much alike.
Yep.
And so I feel like that's kind of.
And I wonder how much that's gonna last, because I don't know. You get people that are just like you, they end up getting on your nerves, right? You're like, oh, I love to hate you.
Just had to throw that out there.
Right. So Greg, I started seeing little things, and I think the sad face, but I did see him open up more about his dad and different things like that.
My question is why did she say that she thought he would leave?
Because he has resting sad face.
So that's why?
Yeah, because I think because he was always kind of like the sad puppy dog. And she's brought it up. This is like the third time she's brought it up.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I think.
I wouldn't want to be with somebody like that.
No, that you're always trying to pull things out of them.
Yeah. And if they're just not a happy person, then.
Yeah. But like I said last week, what is it that sometimes women get into this? First, they accept the love that they feel like they deserve.
Right.
Right. And sometimes people get into this trap of trying to fix the other person, and that would be like a codependency issue, and so I'm hoping that none of that happens, but you can kind of start seeing that pattern, because she is always trying to fix his mood.
Yeah.
Right. Just trying to fix him.
Yeah. I think she's starting to see it, though, and become aware. And I don't think, I don't know. Maybe he'll be going home soon.
Yeah, I don't see him in the final two. I'll be honest. And I think she painted herself in a corner by giving him the one-on-one and the rose. Because that automatically started to really shrink the numbers down. Yeah. And it cut Andrew out, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's where I disagree with this whole episode is I think she should have left all of the roses for the rose ceremony.
That would have been smart.
Yes.
Then she could have just evaluated and sat on it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that's a great observation, Courtney. And I think you got a point. So all of the Bachelorette producers, make sure that next year, or at least not even next year, next season, which will be happening in
I think it's like
4 weeks.
August 15th or something like that.
Wow, look at that. It's about 4 weeks.
I know.
Man, that was pretty good, right?
Okay, but when is Bachelor in Paradise?
Bachelor in Paradise is coming on in 2 weeks, I think. And they can run simultaneously. Because usually Bachelor in Paradise will run at the same time as Men Tell All or Final Rose.
Okay.
So they'll run it right back to back, right into it.
All right.
And they usually show that on Tuesdays too, Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that, because they get 2 days for that. It's a summer thing. They got to fill in slots. You know what I mean? So let's see here. So Greg is not in my top 4. He's definitely not in my top 2. I am seeing signs.
He was not in your top 4?
He was in my top 4 before, but I am seeing signs, and I don't know.
Well, it is the top 4 now, so.
Yeah, he's just not in mine. I would have picked Andrew over him.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? But as a pleasant surprise, going back to the group date, Michael, the widower.
Okay, wait, but in the group date, I actually was taken back that she didn't pick Andrew for the rose.
Yeah, and I think so. What does that say? I think that says that she obviously has a connection with Michael, because that group date rose was so important.
Right.
I mean that propels you right to the finals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I thought he really stuck out because not only like he was the one that made an effort, you know, and like took her back to their one-on-one date. And
yeah. Which they all made an effort. I mean, you had Justin paint all the weird flowers and butterflies, and then give some symbolic thing to it. This is me coming out of my cocoon, and like,
yeah.
Oh.
But even her picking Justin over Andrew was just so
weird,
shocking.
Yeah, because I don't see the fireworks between her and Justin.
I don't either.
You know, and like I said, I think that's what happened is she painted herself into a corner and got to the point where it was like, okay, I don't see this guy being at the end, but I really like him. So do I just rip the Band-Aid off now?
And she regretted it.
She did, you know, and I thought.
Well, she even said after the rose ceremony, I was going into this not knowing what I was going to do. And I was just winging it.
Right.
And I thought that I was doing the right thing. But she clearly second-guessed herself.
Right. No, and I thought it showed Andrew's character coming back the way he did.
Oh, yeah.
And the way the dude.
Ugh.
So this is my question is I wondered if the reason she did this is because Andrew is from another country, and maybe that would have.
That's what I was thinking, because he did mention like going back and playing football, and that would mean having to move around, and so I almost wonder if that, like
she didn't want him to kill his dream.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
She didn't want to, because she wants to. She's mentioned multiple times she wants to settle down and have a family, and she told Andrew that if it meant moving around and waiting to have a family, then
we would do that. But that's a high price.
Yeah.
So, and that's a big commitment. So I think some of those factors were playing in her head, and then this thought came into mind. The reality is that she's only been on one date with all these guys. Mm-hmm. It's not like they've been courting and dating, except for Greg. Oh my gosh, right? And Greg's dates, the headline for Greg's dates are dead fathers, right? Like that's all they talk about. I mean, and it's kind of weird and creepy in a little way, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? I don't know. Yeah. It's almost, it feels like a manipulation tactic.
I almost wonder if when they do go to hometowns, if his family is gonna like spill all of his beans.
I wonder if Greg's dad is going to pop up and be alive.
Really?
I'm just saying. I mean, you called him a liar.
You really think it would go that deep?
I think that would be an amazing storyline.
I think he would get so much crap.
Oh, yeah, but he's already getting so much crap. Like, okay, so I typed in, is Greg, and then Google automatically filled it out for me on Bachelorette, an actor. And I was like, oh, that's like the number one search thing. Okay. And
is it really?
Yes. And so he's already getting a ton of crap. And
As he should.
Yes, and so I just think it would be hilarious if his dad
I think
was
that would
really
be
alive.
awful. I think it would be so awful because you take a guy like Greg and a guy like Andrew. It just blows my mind.
I just think it would be awesome. And then, you know, him trying to redeem himself in Bachelor in Paradise or something like that.
You know, Katie she has been blessed throughout this whole entire thing. She has had so many good guys.
Yeah.
But she's let them all go.
But not all of them. I mean, so
Well,
here's my dark horse in the race.
okay.
It is Michael and his son James. You know, I thought, okay, so back to the group date.
You think he's going to win?
So you thought he was going to leave.
I think he's going to leave this next episode.
Yeah, but this next episode is hometowns, which he's going to be home.
No, they go on a date before. So this is what I read. I read that she takes him to hometowns, but she does not meet his family.
What?
And he leaves.
I don't know. He's 1 week away from seeing his kid.
I know. That's where I'm like, I
He can
just
wait.
don't get it.
He can wait. And he said something here. He goes, you know, I'm not happy at home, so I owe that to my family to try to find this. And the line that killed me in this episode was this. He just looked at her and was like, nobody can love you the way that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, that's... You had me at hello. You know?
No. That's what I heard a rumor that's what's going to happen. Because they have a little date before they go to do actual hometown. So this is what I read.
They do the date in their hometown.
So this is what, but this is what I read. I read that, this is how I found out. For the Men Tell All, Michael is the last to leave, and he is at Men Tell All.
So he's not in the final two, right?
He's not in the final three.
Final three it goes. Is it final three that goes?
Well, I'm saying he leaves before she has the opportunity for him to stay.
Oh, that stinks. Okay, I'm depressed. So,
but okay, this is what I don't understand though, is she
so
had
by default,
Connor,
she's gonna be stuck with Blake.
basically, Blake, Justin, and Greg.
Okay, which by default is Blake. Yeah, that's like guy by default.
Okay, but if it doesn't work out, Andrew left her a note.
It said, "Yeah, I'm here. Come make it work." That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh, I was like, that was the cutest thing ever. Okay, I was like, girl, you should not have sent him home.
He's just an all around. I don't know. He's funny. He was up there with Connor with me.
Yeah.
So I liked him. Connor, Michael have shown themselves to be great guys, and even Blake.
Andrew, I had a little bit of growing with him.
Yep.
But once I got there,
his personality came out.
Yeah, and it's kind of devastating as like when Connor left. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Yep.
And just the way that he left, he came to her room and said, "I didn't want to leave on a bad note. I thought we should leave with smiling faces."
That was so mature and so cool.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That was like the best breakup ever. Best, worst.
I know.
Horrible.
And then she asked him to come back. And I understand why he said no. But I was like, oh, no.
I don't know, man. That would have been hard. Would I have been a sucker to say yes or?
Well, that's what I didn't understand, though, is he gave her that note.
And said, yeah, but
then he said no.
Because you already rejected me. So I already know out of this group, I'm not it. So if it doesn't work and you want to try it in real life, I think that's what the meaning behind, behind what he did too.
So you watch. It's going to be.
All right. So this is your prediction, Blake.
So yeah, I think she's going to pick Blake, but then I think down the road, they might not work out, and then maybe she'll come back with Andrew.
Okay, Blake into an Andrew S scenario.
Maybe.
All right, so this is the picks for hometown. Okay, or the finale. We going down to the final two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes from 4 to 2. Who are your top two?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Blake is both. He's definitely in there, right?
Yeah, so Blake, but it's so hard for me to pick between Greg and Justin because neither one of them are deserving.
Well, Justin's cool, but I just don't see the spark still.
Yeah,
I see more of a friendship.
So this is what I think. I think it's going to be Blake for sure. And then I would like it to be Justin, but I have a feeling that it's going to be Greg.
All right. So this is mine. I'm going to say Blake and Michael. Even though you said he leaves, I don't care. That's who it should be.
You're right. That's who it should be. Yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and say maybe Greg's dad might make an appearance.
I think that's a far out there.
But that would be awesome, wouldn't it? So, well, that's any other things you want to add to this?
I mean, I really do hope that Greg's true colors do come out during hometowns and she kicks him to the curb.
I do too. But the reality is they don't. They always pick the people that you don't think. So honestly, it'll probably end up being, watch it be Justin and Greg at the end. And she boots Blake out.
Well, okay. She did say, or no, Blake, when they were talking about it and people are telling her, oh, I'm falling in love with you. Blake point blank said that he was not falling in love with her.
He said, no, I can see myself falling in love with you.
Right. But
and
he wasn't
I can see
there.
myself falling for you. It's just not enough time. He's very honest. And he says, but trust me, I know that it's headed there. It's inevitable.
Right. And that was the first time that I saw them together that they were not
like the fairy tale.
Yeah. So I was like, do I question my pick?
All right. I'm going to go on record and say it's probably going to be I'm going to say Blake and Michael. That's my top two. I can't go against it.
I will say Blake for sure.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Justin because I don't want it to be Greg. But I have a gut feeling that it's gonna be Blake and Greg.
Yeah, I think so too. So we're gonna have to wait and see, and then we get a Men Tell All. So we should have a nice juicy episode for you guys next week. Tune in.
Well, so this is what I heard. It goes into the dates. Michael leaves. Then it's Men Tell All.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a juicy day. Men Tell All is on Tuesday.
It's going to be the same
in the same episode. Yeah, it's going to be like a 3-hour episode, right?
Something like that.
4-hour episode.
Gosh,
8 to midnight.
I hope not.
Right.
So that means next week is going to be a long podcast.
long podcast. So, all right. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
I'm Anthony.
And I'm Courtney.
And this is The Rose. Adios.